for preparing our coconut yogurt or any other recipe that requires Yangtai coconut meat, we of course need to open our Yangtai coconut. And the coconut that you see here is exactly this. It's young. So the meat inside is not mature. So whenever you see these brown, hairy coconuts in the shops, that is a mature coconut with mature meat, meaning firm meat. And this is not what you want to use. Of course, in reality, the coconut doesn't grow like this. So if you're in a tropical country that has like actual coconuts growing, it will not be like this. It will be green, and it will probably be kind of a green brownish ball that then is cut into shape by producers for our convenience, right? But if you are in a tropical country, then most likely you're fortunate enough that you do not have to open your coconut yourself. You can probably go just to the coconut walla, we call it in India, and they'll open it for you and give you the meat and the juice, no problem. If you do have to open it yourself, then we need to, of course, consider security. We have our coconut on a non-slippery surface and it stands evenly. We keep the hand that's not going to open the coconut safe, so we don't cut ourselves. We use a knife that we don't care too much about, that is strong, with a strong blade. You could use a Makati or a cleaver and any other old knife that is large and powerful, and yeah, you don't care breaking. So when you are hitting the coconut, we basically want to hit it at a few points, and we want to hit it with that bottom edge, right, of the blade. We, of course, also keep our fingers secure that are holding the blade. So we are really wrapping our fingers around the grip. When we aim at the coconut, we aim with the corner, as I said, and we try to just go with our full power and hit the coconut as many times as we need to, but circling it around. So this was obviously not with the full power, but dip, dip, dip. Each time hitting it, each time getting deeper into the woody material that is encasing the juice and the flesh. What is important is that it stands with the tip to the top because it's full of juice, and you want to avoid losing any of this precious coconut water that is so delicious, and of course you can also use to replace other liquids like water in your recipes. So let's go for it. Left hand in my case is secure, and I'm looking at the coconut, knowing already where I'm going to hit, because if you're a driver, you know wherever you're looking, that's where you're going. And oh, no, there you go. Okay. You can see splash, meaning there is some water coming through, meaning you've already hit the target. And sometimes you can remove some of the woody parts if it's difficult by just cutting it off, and it will be easier for you to see where you're going to hit. Okay, we've already opened it. We can see it's already entered, so we could already open just to get the juice, but we want that meat, right? Whenever we want that meat, we really want to create a big hole so we can use a spoon to scrape out the meat. Okay, and you can see there is our beautiful coconut. Now we are getting a bowl and a strainer because we don't want any of these bits of the wood and this fibrous material around the coconut in our meat or in our drink. Gives you a little bit of a holiday feel doing this. And so much juice in this one, amazing. Then we can discard all this. When we look at the meat, we'll see different textures of meat. The more mature the coconut, the more thick the meat, the more firm the meat, and the less usable for our purposes. So as soon as the meat becomes very solid and very firm, really the only thing we can do is dehydrate it, and we can use it for making coconut milk, coconut cream, shredded coconut, all of these, coconut butter, coconut oil. But when we are really after the meat, for yogurt, for creams and so forth, if it's thin and still pliable, so still in between jelly and firm. Jelly, it's still very young coconut meat, but if it's in between jelly and firm, kind of like this, from thickness level, then this is when you can use it. Also, color is important when it comes to checking the quality of your coconut. So you want to check whether it is pink, meaning usually it's kind of young, but as soon as the color is turning into a grayish off color, you could say, you can see that the freshness is probably less and maybe you need to discard. You can always smell it as well. Sometimes our coconut water, gets fermented or it doesn't smell so fresh, but we instinctively know that, right? So it smells very good, smells very fresh and coconutty. So this is for us to enjoy or in our recipes, and we can get to our meat. If you have a large enough hole here, you can just scrape out the coconut meat with a spoon, and you do not necessarily need to go to the next step. But if you want to, you can, and you have a cleaver. This is going to be a little bit challenging with this knife, and it's probably going to ruin our blade. So if you have a cleaver, if you have a Makati, go for this. And the idea is, again, we are protecting one of our hands. And this time we are actually going to hit with the blade. And what's going to happen is we are going to get trapped with the blade in our coconut, ideally. And then we're just going to smash the coconut onto the surface as many times as we need to. Okay, and this is going to be noisy, so just so you know. But easy. And here we are, and we see our coconut meat. This one is a little bit off grayish, so it's probably something that we would discard and not use in our recipes. And we need to get another coconut. If you're not able to open the coconut completely, then you can still get the meat out if the hole is large like this. And you can get your spoon and scrape out the sides. And this one's looking better. It's a little bit firm or on the edge to mature, but we can use it. So now we're going to clean this up. And we, of course, need to clean the meat, and I'm going to show you how. We have a bowl with water. And the first step is we're just going to soak our coconut meat there to get rid of all the bits that are sticking to it. We can do that just for 10 minutes. Now we're ready to clean our coconut meat, and for this we just have a peeler and our bowl of water to clean up the woody bits. If you decide to keep the coconut meat and not use it right away, then you can also do that, of course, either in your fridge or in your freezer. Either way, you want to make sure to always add some water with your coconut meat so that it keeps fresh. So even if you're freezing it, it would be in some water, and of course you would want to portion it out to the amounts that you're likely to be using. So this is how you clean it. We just have a peeler, and we are just peeling off the brown bits. And then we can have a second bowl with water where we put the clean bits. We don't, of course, need to peel off everything, just where there is this wooden parts. Ready and clean. And next up, it goes into our fresh water for storage or use in our recipe.